On today's Buckeye Roast, Michigan's recruiting machine keeps on rolling. We'll take a look at what it means for the rivalry and how they've been able to be successful. Back in Columbus, there's a fresh black stripe alert plus reactions from the secondary's interviews as camp battles heat up even more. We'll also go national with the On3 True Freshman All-American list, spotlighting what young players, what young stars are already turning heads. And to wrap it up, news out of South Bend, where Notre Dame has named its starting quarterback. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'm Chris Drew, and this is the Buckeye Roast with Ron and Q right here on Dead Air Sports.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. We are back for another episode of the Buckeye Roast. It's your boy Ron James here with my guys. Smash that like.
You actually got it out. I was waiting for you to fold. Oh, it was good, Ron. It's a good day, man. Hanging out, talking Buckeye football, and a lot to talk about.
Absolutely, lots to talk about. But I have to get us started with our stat of the day. Q, in the last 20 years, when a QB makes his first start against the number one team, he is 0-18.
Jesus. That's a little rough, man. I don't know how many of them are playing for the second-ranked team in college football, so maybe an inside stat inside the stat. But, hey, man, it's first time for everything, right?
Absolutely. Hoping it'll be a first time for Julian Sayin as a first-time starter going up against the number one team in the country in the Texas Longhorns in just 10 days. Q, we got some comments from yesterday that we got to get to.
All right, let's talk about it.
Our guy, Zach, said, OG Texas Chainsaw Massacre is literally a perfect movie. Q has great taste. I told Q after the show that is also my favorite scary movie. So Rod has good taste too.
Yeah, man. No, it was a ton of fun, man. I forget how funny that movie is. Like, some things age well and then some things don't. I love the scene where Leatherface is chasing Sally outside. And they're just kind of running in a circle. It's pretty funny when you think about it. But it was a great time, man. If you haven't seen that movie, please go check it out. True classic.
Absolutely. Our guy Doug says, Ron brings the facts about Austin Sareveld, and now I know why the talk about him is being under-recruited. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit. Did have some higher-end offers, Iowa, Ohio State, Alabama, but again, not the laundry list of offers you see on some kids on three page. 247 is what I was looking at, but it feels like the times are heading towards an On3 monopoly on the recruiting game unless Ron 3 resurrects from the grave for some real competition.
Hey, man, we need a new recruiting service out there. I'm tired of On3 and 247 getting these guys off. So, Ron, I need you to bring your list back out. It's 2026, man.
I might bring back the Ron 3 rankings in 2027. Our guy Matthew Peck says, damn Q, another freak off at the end of the show. We're going to have to put a mature warning on these shows if Q can't get his vocabulary together with all these freaky ass statements at the end of the show.
Ron has if this was NBA 2K, his pause sense is like a 110. Like, it's over what it naturally should be because anything can be paused. So I'm just saying, I was trying to be serious, but if we're going to go off the rails, we going off the rails.
Resume. Our guy Travis Shuttleworth says, come on, Ron, Q don't even watch the game, so you know damn well he ain't watching the press conferences. Q, a peek behind the curtain. Q didn't watch the press conferences before we were getting the show started. He's like, what's that guy's one name that got the good quotes?
Well, that's this time. So I did watch Matt P's interview. I was interested to see what do you say. See, a real peek behind the curtain. Back on BDM, the interviews was our least favorite thing. Like, those shows were so rough to put together. Literally, just watch a guy say nothing for about 2 hours of time. So,
it got to the point last season where we're done doing interviews because I'm not watching them anymore. They haven't said anything in 5 weeks, and I'm spending at least 2 hours a week just watching interviews, and I'm just like, I'm not doing that anymore. Thankfully, it's been pretty interesting so far.
Yeah, we're getting better stuff. A championship changes it up, so it feels refreshing at this point.
Absolutely. Appreciate all the comments. Nitty Hustle says Ryan Day confident. He's just never confident against the team up north. Ain't that the truth, Q? Do you think his confidence has changed? And do you think the Natty has given him what he needs to get over that hump?
No, I wouldn't say the Natty's given to him. It's a different beast, of course. I mean, at least he does have one victory under his belt, but it's another challenge out there. Like Coach Day still has a ways to go. So let's see if he can really get that monkey off his back, and that is really the challenge this season. You know, he can win a Natty. Can he beat Michigan?
We will have to wait until November to find out. Appreciate the comment, Nitty. Our guy Ark Buck. No one understands this Dragon Ball Z shit. I said, is that a vote for King Julian?
Come on, man. Everybody just, bro, we all grew up with Dragon Ball Z. If you're a true 90s, 2000 kid, bro, you were over there screaming in your house and your mom said, hey, shut up, turn it off. So, hey, come on, man. You got to give Dragon Ball Z some respect.
Yeah, I mean, you know where I stand on this. I've already started cooking up the King Julian edits. We got a fire one drop in later today, so keep an eye out for that one on the timeline. But Q, we got a packed show today. We got to get going.
All right, smash that like. Let's get to the song.
Q, we got preseason All-Americans from On3. A little bit of national news. Wanted to go through this list, see how many of these names that we felt were familiar, how many that we're going to have to face, and some that we may have to worry about. But one that I must start with first when I look at this, linebacker at Duke, Bradley Gompers. And I hate to make this a smell my own fart segment, but I'd like to take us back into the Wayback Machine when a local recruiter in Pittsburgh by the name of Ron James went to go see Bradley Gompers, a lowly unranked prospect at the start of his senior year. And I left that game and I said, I just watched him play on the field with 2 5-stars and a 4-star. He was the best player on the field. The next update in recruiting rankings, Bradley Gompers had the largest jump out of any recruit in the country after going from unranked to number 98 in the country. I don't want to say that I saw it before everyone else, but I saw it before everyone else. I think he's going to be an absolute monster at Miami for Manny Diaz, and that is a name that I think the country should learn very fast because he is an absolute dog.
You mean at Duke?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. I was like, you said Miami, and I was like, wait a minute, did he transfer? Okay. All right, I'm back. No, man, you talked about him when you went to go see him. And yeah, like you said, he was like, this is an unknown guy. They don't know about him. Well, apparently somebody was overhearing your phone conversation and said, Ron thinks going to beat us to this one. Nope, On3 got him again. So no, I'm looking forward to him. Got to check out some definitely highlights. But yeah, it's a talented list, man. The fact that he makes the list, you were on to something.
Absolutely. But the most notable names on here, we have 2 names that we've talked about a lot on this program in Riley Pettijohn and Devin Sanchez, 2 Buckeyes on the All-American list. It makes you wonder when you hear a bunch of Buckeye fans crying about recruiting, and then you look at the preseason All-Americans, and they're one of the only team on here with 2 players as Georgia. So 2 teams with multiple preseason freshman All-American, both of them unlikely to start, just to show you how stacked and talented this Ohio State program is.
Yeah, and I mean even 3 if you count my David Sanders Ohio State merch. So
what a callback.
3 guys on the year. But yeah, no, I mean those were big time gets. We understood that. The fact that going to Texas and get those 2 guys was a massive pull. So shout out to the coaches for that one. Yeah, I mean it feels good. It feels like we're recruiting at least at the top end. We're getting a couple guys over the line. And yeah, it's important. But I'm looking down this list. It's a lot of Big Ten names on here. So the Big Ten putting in some work.
Yeah, another familiar name on this list, Javen Boggs, son of Wade Boggs, at wide receiver at Florida State, formerly committed to Ohio State. One of my favorite Ohio State recruiting edits that I've ever done. Not even a Buckeye.
It's okay, man. You always have that edit. Like I always have my merch.
I'll be holding on to that edit like you'll be holding on to your David Sanders Ohio State merch that he sold before he ever committed.
Okay, Ron. Question for you. At the end of the season, out of not naming these two guys, so they already made the preseason All-American list, who's the next most likely guy on the Ohio State roster to make the postseason freshman All-American list?
Good question. I'm going to have to go with, has to be Bo Jackson, right? The next most likely to play out of the true freshmen, I would have to go Bo Jackson there. I feel like if he is able to maximize his opportunities when he does get touches, Ryan Day talked the other day in the press conference and said that he's comfortable playing three running backs, Bo Jackson being the third. If he's able to maximize those opportunities, the Buckeyes haven't been shy about playing freshman running backs before. We watched Travion Henderson explode onto the scene against Minnesota when it wasn't looking like he would be the starting running back at the beginning of the season and would have to earn that, and he grabbed that with a quickness. So I think Bo Jackson has the best opportunity out of the freshmen not named Riley Pettijohn and Devin Sanchez to make the postseason On3 All-American list.
All right, I'm gonna go with a slightly bigger shout. I'm gonna go Jaquez Carter. I feel like you talk about D tackle depth, and you say, okay, we don't know if these backup guys know. We heard good things from you, but it sounds like we had a lot of concerns there. But he's been buzzing in camp a little bit. I mean, we've heard that name throughout spring, throughout summer, throughout fall now. So, and Edric Houston playing last year early gives me a chance to say, okay, maybe Larry will throw him in and we'll see what he can do. So I feel like that's a name we haven't talked about a lot. So I will throw him in there as an opportunity to be in the postseason All-American.
I think that's a good shot. Not even a name that was on my mind, but you make a good point about the opportunity in the defensive tackle room. So if he's able to step up, a chance to make his name known.
We will see.
You had a topic for us that I skipped right over and took us straight into preseason All-Americans.
Well, I love how you jump scare me with the graphic. You know, I just seen Texas Chainsaw the other day. Like, don't just have to pop up on me. But I had a couple things for you. So here I'll start with this one. So you remember a guy by the name of small time recruit? You may not know about him. Jahmyr Gibbs, first round pick.
I think I've heard of him before.
Okay, so back in the day, there was a time where he was supposed to come and visit Ohio State. Blew up as a late recruit senior year, back when you can actually recruit seniors and they weren't all signed and had NIL deals done. So Jahmyr Gibbs was at Georgia Tech. He was going to go look around, and he was like, okay, I got a couple big schools and offers. He was supposed to take a visit to Ohio State. Now, Ohio State canceled that visit because of the scholarship limit. Video comes out. Jahmyr Gibbs says, I was going to go to Ohio State. I was going to take my visit, commit, and then be the next great running back in the Ohio State room. Unfortunately, that did not happen. But Ron, what would Jahmyr Gibbs have done in this Ohio State offense?
Q, I don't know what he would have done, but I want to know what the Buckeyes did to deserve what happened in that class, because you look back and you're like, you miss out on Jahmyr Gibbs. God tells Bijan Robinson to go to Texas. And I'm sitting there as an Ohio State fan, like, what's it fuck me for? What did I do to deserve this? We miss out on Jahmyr Gibbs and Bijan Robinson. I don't know who did what to the football gods, but I'm just glad that the Buckeyes have sorted it out, because whatever the hell was going on with running back recruiting back in 2020 needs to never happen again, Q.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't go terribly. Miles was a decent player here. Certainly not the level of Jahmyr Gibbs or Bijan Robinson, but I think we kind of knew that coming in. But so we steered the ship, but I can only dream of a room with Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan, and Travion Henderson walking in. It's just like, you talk about a three-headed monster. That would have been one for the ages. We talk about Tony Alford, like Brian Hartline, if he was able to pull that off. So I don't know, man.
Well, speaking of We're going to have to swing back because Q, you jumped right to it. And you mentioned one, Tony Alford, and you said he's not Brian Hartline, but he went to Michigan and started recruiting like Brian Hartline. He goes and gets Justice Haynes a miss at Ohio State and gets him to transfer in from Alabama. And then he follows it up with a guy that I heard people in Spaces comparing to Adrian Peterson. Q, what is going on? They told me Tony Alford was washed, that he was a career killer, that Ohio State, good riddance to this man. Fucking beat Ohio State. He just got the number one running back in the country. Like, what's going on here, Q?
I mean, it just sounds like whoever they is, they were wrong. I mean, really, when Tony Alford was here, I never had a complaint about him, and I know people did. But I mean, if you looked at that room at times, there's just so much talent that has come through the Ohio State running back room. I mean, talk about he missed out on Bijan. Travion Henderson walks in the door. Evan Pryor, obviously, he had injuries, but super talented, top 100 player at running back. And then Dallin Hayden didn't really work out here, but there was never a question on his talent. And then he leaves, and who do we have? Travion Henderson and Quinshawn Judkins walks in the room. So, I mean, I get chasing stars, but it's like we've had stars too. I mean, Tony Alford, got to give him his credit. He's flipped that running back room over there in Michigan, and they look in prime position. So, I mean, you leave, you go to Michigan, people are going to hate you regardless of what you did here. They're not going to appreciate it. It is what it is.
Q, as much as I would have loved to see Savion Hyder commit to Ohio State, I feel like Buckeye media dodged a bullet because someone was going to call him Hitler. And that would have been a big problem. Like, I think we dodged one. We saw what Michigan State put up on their Jumbotron. Now Michigan has to deal with this. They're going to play a game in Germany that they're saying is hell to the victors. They're going to be over there singing hell. Their top running back's name looks like you know who. I'm just glad I avoided all of that mess.
Ron, I mean, I'm going to be honest here. If his name was Savion Hitler, we still would have took him. It just wouldn't matter either way. So you scoring touchdowns, his name could have been Hale. His first name could have been Hale, we would have took him. So it wouldn't have mattered at that point. But you make an interesting point. Playing in Germany, I don't know if that's quite the move. They might want to move that game to Sweden.
Oh, man, Q, I wanted to stick with Michigan recruiting because it felt like just a week ago we were laughing at Michigan. Not a week ago, but it seems like it. We spent years laughing at Michigan and their inability to recruit, and now they sit at number 10 in the recruiting rankings, one spot behind the Buckeyes. The recruiting momentum for the Buckeyes seems to be dead in the water at the moment, while Michigan couldn't be any hotter on the trail. How disappointing is it after losing to Michigan in a national championship season to come into the offseason and continue to lose to Michigan as they are going crazy on the recruiting trail right now? You look at the names that Michigan has been able to put together in the past two classes, and guys like Carter Meadows, Bryce Underwood, and Savion Hyder. We're going to have to play them. Like, it's not funny anymore. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like, oh, Michigan dropped $13 million on a quarterback. Good luck, like, with the rest of your class. They've already been a problem on the field for 4 years, but they are officially a problem in recruiting now.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll be pro Big Ten for a second, I guess. I mean, Michigan should be recruiting at this level. They should be around the top. I mean, I feel like Penn State, Oregon, Ohio State, Michigan should all be in the top
USC?
10. Huh?
USC.
I mean, they're still
it's
trying
LA.
They're trying to shake off their Pac-10 rust or Pac-12 rust, whatever they got going on. But I mean, USC has not been afraid to spend some money. So really, all five of them should be around or be in and around the top 10 year in, year out. The problem being Ohio State is going the wrong direction. Like, it's cool. Michigan could be at 9. Ohio State should be at 2. There's no reason Ohio State should finish outside the top 3 any year. Are you going to lose recruits to Michigan? I'm sure you may lose one or two, but you shouldn't be losing them in the fact of just because they're willing to pay and we're not. And I think that's sort of the problem we have. So Michigan's stepping it up, and we got to play them, and they have a more talented roster than they usually do. I mean, that does vote problems because they've had less talented rosters. We haven't beat them. So this is just a bat signal to Ohio State. Like, you need to continue. If you want to maintain this level right now, because I'm confident in this roster, you're confident in this roster, you got to continue to push that envelope. If you really want to chase that mountaintop and stay there, like, remember Nick Saban's classes? Jesus Christ. It was like, yeah, we're not going to be able to move them. Like, Kirby Smart, as much as we talk about Kirby Smart, could never beat them because they were able to maintain and continue to add talent. Ohio State needs to find a way to do that and maintain their current position in college football.
Yeah, I feel like I sound like a Michigan fan, like, oh, we'll beat them with lesser ranked talent. Like, that's what they used to say when we were beating their ass. Like, and they just beat us with a walk-on at quarterback, and now they got 5 stars, and they're spending tons of money. It's disappointing to see, and, you know, I hate talking about recruiting. I feel like we've beaten a dead horse as in regards to this Ross Bjork situation. He's given us the Nick Saban. I'm not going to do it, so quit asking. We're not going to spend money, and it doesn't really bother me watching recruiting misses, but it does bother me watching Michigan recruit better than us. And I don't even think it's up for debate right now as far as how they're navigating the NIL landscape. Michigan seems to be doing a better job at the current moment.
Yeah, well, it sounds like we need to hire Nick Saban as GM. That's what it sounds like. Hey, if we get him in here, maybe he can buzz the board. The board of
I don't know how much his magic works. They don't make scat packs no more. So
say everybody gets Ferraris now. So, but yeah, I mean, like I said, you have hope by next year Ohio State will adjust. That's more hope than I have. I think we are who we are, and until you see that team start to fall a little bit, they're not going to really change. But this year we got to accept it. You're going to see this now through December. So get ready, because it's going to be a rough 4 months on the recruiting trail.
Q. The one positive is everybody around the Ohio State program seems to be getting paid except for recruits. We're signing coaches. Caleb Downs is signing deals. You look on the timeline and you see Buckeye players in commercials. What'd you think of the new Caleb Downs Beats by Dre commercial?
Oh, I thought it was cool, man. And they talked about a little on minutes. Like, this is what NIL is supposed to be. Like, you have guys here, you have all these companies around. Let guys run commercials, get the spotlight. Like, it was super cool to see him walking into the stadium. He got the Beats on, in the shoe, getting ready to play, throwing his uniform on. Like, I mean, that's what it's supposed to be. Like, that's what I would love to see. I mean, you know, if guys are going to get these fancy cars, heck, cut me a video. Have Jahmyr Smith pulling on the street in the highway, hitting 80. Like,
you want Jeremiah Smith leaving the Woody, and you wanted to look like a Big Timers video?
I wanted to look like Georgia football. He's leaving the Woody.
No. Oh, bro, I almost clipped up this. I'll have it for the show tomorrow, man. There is a parody cartoon of Georgia football getting ready for the season, and it's so spot on. We have to play it on the show tomorrow. But I feel like we've come a long way from No Swag You to Beats by Dre commercials walking into the Woody. I love to see the level up. And speaking of level up, it's not even in the notes. I saw someone say, keep an eye out for Ohio State media. And we've talked about Ohio State media relentlessly since we've been in front of the microphone. And like, I used to watch Ohio State media content come out and be like, I got to get in the lab. Like, I can't have them have us out here looking like squares. Like, I want to put something out that makes Ohio State look cool. Bro, when I watch Ohio State media content now, I'm like, job's done. Like, nothing left for me to do here. I can't contribute to this. Like, I'm not going to do anything better than that. And bro, they have been putting out absolute heat. And I feel like it started last year with the after game movies and recaps, and then they really started to level up on Instagram. And now the micro content that they're putting out preseason and the level of production in it, I cannot wait to see with these after movies and hype trailers. And I feel like they're a little bit hampered by the copyright. I get to go crazy, like, whatever, play whatever music I want. They can't. But so I feel like it's a little bit harder for them to go crazy with the hype videos. But I mean, their cinematic recaps of the games are amazing. If you aren't checking those out after the games, be sure to check those out. So I just wanted to give them a shout out for the level up, because some of the content that they've been putting out this off season, absolutely ridiculous. And what was my one thing that I kept saying about our media team, what would take it to the next level? Hire more women.
Wow.
Hire more women. You can't have 10 dudes from the Midwest be in charge of everything creative. You have to have some sort of diversity to make sure the aesthetics and the ideas are fresh. And you can see the impact that the expansion of the media team and the new hires around the media team, what they've done in the past year and what they're doing going forward, incredible.
Yeah, I mean, that level has been insane. I mean, I remember the times me and Chris fought with the media team on Twitter. I remember that time, man. I remember coming in here criticizing. I remember they used to play their hype trailers for like the season, and like it's like, oh, we're playing, whatever opponent, and I see the hype trailer, and I'm like, shit, we might lose. Like, it was that bad. I'm like, this is boring. This is stale. Like, this sucks. So, and you saw with the former Ohio State media, I forget his name, but we went to LSU, and their trailers were hitting, and I'm like, this is it. So
LSU's a cheat code, bro.
I just watched theirs on my daily life getting ready. I'm like, yeah, man, I'm gonna get a raise today. So I mean, it's good to see. Big credit to Ohio State. They truly stepped it up. The photos look better. The sets look better. Recruiting pictures started to look better. So they're truly stepping up their level. So you were right, man. All your criticism, what they've taken from you over the years, it's helped.
I appreciate the level up, and it's definitely noted. And when you guys see their work, make sure you smash that like button, and make sure you smash that like button over here on Dead Air Sports. Here with my co-host, smash that like over there. A little peek behind the curtain. We updated the banner down below because we are struggling with these likes. Everybody's watching. No one's smashing that like button. We need you to smash that like button. It helps us so much in the algorithm. It helps us get a bigger push on YouTube. It is the biggest thing that you can do to support us, and it costs you absolutely nothing. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you smash that like, and then we can take this big old goofy banner off so Q can have his name back. But until then, Q has officially changed his legal name, like Meta World Peace, to smash that like. The reason why it took us so long to record this show is because I couldn't stop laughing and practicing the line of doing the show with my co-host, smash that like. But we're here, Q, and hopefully we can hit that goal of 50 likes after we've now written an entire segment in this show called Smash That Like.
Yes, please. I want my name back. We're cooking.
Free Q. We're here with Smash That Like until then, though.
Oh, man. Too funny.
5 episodes with 50 likes, and we'll let Grandma out of the cage.
Please. Smash that like button, man. Ron cooking behind the scenes. He's putting in a lot of work. Smash it for his sanity.
Absolutely. But we do have some news. We got a black stripe alert, Q.
Yes, guys who we haven't talked about a lot over the last couple of years. No,
a guy that came from a talented group of guys out of Glenville in Bryce West, Arvell Reese, and Damarion Witten. Damarion Witten almost feels like the forgotten of the three just because of the ascension that we've seen the other two have. But if we know anything, never count out a Glenville guy and where their story may end up at Ohio State, and to see him get his black stripe off, I think that's exciting. And again, this tight end room, man, is loaded.
Yeah, I mean, he's working out with the wide receivers, so I'm interested to see how they really use him. I mean, that's a good thing because we talk about route running and stacking guys and all the fundamentals that go into getting open, even as a tight end. All that applies, but he's just a bigger guy. I mean, was he 6'4", 220, 220?
About
at this point? Yeah, so super physical. I want to see I'm very interested to see what they do with him. This tight end room is extremely talented. Obviously got Jelani Thurman there, but I mean, we talked about Damarion Witten when we first signed him. He's like, this was a weapon. Like, he may be a tight end, but he's just a freak in a physical specimen on the field. So I'm interested to see what they do with him. I know the wide receiver room is stacked this season, so we will see if he's able to get some playing time and get implemented. But by next season, my eyes are open. I'm like, where's this guy at? Because we got a couple freak shows and we need to feature him.
Absolutely a name to keep an eye on. Congratulations to Damarion Witten. Q, we also had secondary interviews yesterday. A couple of notes. I think the biggest takeaway from these secondary interviews is they asked Davison Igbinosun about the holding penalties. It seems to be one of the biggest frustrations among Buckeye fans with Iggy. And he pretty much said, I don't have an issue holding people at the beginning of plays. My biggest problem was getting my head around, and I feel like that was what was causing the holding penalties, essentially him not knowing where the ball is and just grabbing onto the player. And he said he's made it a point of emphasis to get his head around. And that's something that we've been talking about with the Buckeyes for years, not getting their head around and not really making a play on the ball. And I feel like it limited the turnovers that we saw. How exciting is it to hear that these corners are going to be getting after the ball this year and trying to locate the ball in the air?
I mean, it's good. I mean, Davison has held. I don't know if it was necessarily a turning his head around issue. I do remember the ball at Penn State hitting him in the helmet and flying out of bounds. So fair point. But yeah, man. If he has all the tools, and obviously the corner room we know is pretty stacked. But Davison has all the tools. He's the guy who you're looking at like, we know what Jermaine Matthews is going to be. He's done it consistently for the past 2 seasons, so you're confident going in. If Davison can level up, and he said he came back to be a first-round corner, doesn't necessarily have to, but if he is a top 3-round corner, I mean, look out for this secondary, man. I mean, we talked about last year how good the secondary was with Denzel Burke and the gang. I mean, if Davison is a top 3-round corner, you got Sanchez coming off the bench, and it's like you got Caleb Downs back there, and Malik Hartford and McClain are playing well. I mean, we're gonna be talking about the secondary maybe postseason. Like, man, we may have underrated a little bit coming in, and this might be one of the best to be around here in the last few years. So it's a lot of potential.
A lot of potential, and I'm reaching that point where I go through this roller coaster every off season where I am very measured in my beliefs and expectations for the Buckeyes. And then August hits and I can't help myself. I start following the team more closely. I dive back in from my off-season break and I start drinking the Buckeye Kool-Aid. It gets to the point where I get so drunk off the Buckeye Kool-Aid that like I'm just lying for the hell of lying, like at that point. And I have to rein myself back in. And I'm approaching that point as we almost are approaching game week we're 10 days left until the Buckeyes finally match up against Texas. And I am now walking back off the ledge of Buckeye expectations off of my drunken Kool-Aidness. I have to bring it back and rein it back in, because when you talk about all the potential on this team, you can paint any narrative because they haven't played yet. And I have to remind myself, all of this stuff is projection. A lot of these guys are still very young. A lot of these guys are going to be making a lot of their mistakes for the first time early in the season. So I'm trying to recalibrate my expectations despite all the potential that you just outlined.
All right, so trivia question. That's not really trivia, but Davison next year in the it's not trivia at all.
I'm just saying shit.
Yeah, I'm just saying trivia for no reason. All right, Davison's going to the draft next year. Denzel Burke was a 5th-round pick. Do you think he goes before the 5th round of next year's draft?
Yeah, I do. Just because he reminds me a lot of Joey Porter Jr., a guy that we saw at Penn State play very physical like Iggy, similar build, very good in the run support. I think Iggy's ability to tackle, his frame for a corner, just his tenacity, I think that's a guy. And I mean, it's not like he's slow. I think he has the intangibles to play in the NFL, and I do think he'll end up higher than Denzel Burke.
All right, there we go. Let me know in the comments and smash that like while you're at it.
Absolutely. Make sure you smash that like button. It helps us a ton. Our best friend MG talked about the linebackers and said their athleticism gives the safeties flexibility. Q. Are we underestimating what 2 6'4" freak athletes at linebacker are going to look like for Ohio State?
Ron, I was going to ask you, what does that mean?
What?
The linebackers' athleticism gives the safeties flexibility.
I believe that it gives them more leniency on the things that they're able to do and what they're asked to do in the defense because their responsibilities are lessened by the talent in front of them.
Okay. I was like, at first it sounded like coach speak for a second. I was like, and?
No, I think what he's detailing is I think the game is made easier for the safeties when you're not going to be asked to clean up as many mistakes and fill as many roles when you have guys that are such freak athletes and are going to be able to handle their own in front of them.
Okay, fair enough. I follow you now. Yeah, you had to give me back there. I was like, MG, man, come on. Give me something.
You thought it was just straight coach speak?
I thought that was coach. I was like, give some flexibility. Coach, what are they going to do with flexibility? Okay. No, man, I mean, definitely with the two linebackers we have, you feel like, one, they're not going to have to help as much in the pass game. We've talked about it with like Tommy Eichenberg, shout out to him, and other guys of like him and Cody Simon were not great in the pass game, and definitely they needed help. And we've gotten cooked like that for a couple seasons. With the athleticism of Sonny Styles, who was really good in the pass game, and we've seen it against Texas, we've seen it against other teams. And it didn't start off great, but he got a lot better later in the season. And Arvell Reese, it feels like these safeties can pretty much, hey, go be a ball hawk, go do what you want. We don't necessarily need you filling in gaps. We don't necessarily need you immediate help in the run game. These linebackers have got it covered. So I'm right with you. I think it's a big year for the safeties. And I think MG, again, credit to him, really making a name for himself. A lot of criticism is just Jim Knowles' guy. He's MG now.
Oh yeah, lots of criticism. I wonder who was critical of him.
Not smash that like, that's for sure.
My guy smashed that like is a big MG boy.
The MG boy. Deep cut.
Deep cut. They also talked about the nickel position, and they weren't talking about Caleb Downs, but they talked about the flexibility that Lorenzo Styles and Bryce West add, and essentially said that those two can provide the same things that Jordan Hancock did at that nickel position. How confident are you in those two filling that role?
I mean, that's a big statement. I mean, Jordan Hancock was a really good player here. So if they are up to that level, and this is if you're drinking the Kool-Aid, I mean, if they're up to that level, that is major because Jordan Hancock was a really, really good player last year and essential to the secondary. I have faith in Lorenzo Styles. He has an athleticism. I mean, we know obviously came out, he was a top 150 player out of high school, so highly ranked, was playing wide receiver. We know he has athleticism and speed, and it feels like he's really adapting here to this position. And obviously Bryce West, I mean, we talked about him earlier, another Glenville guy, super talented. So I think it's a good thing if we don't need Caleb Downs to do that and can just do it because it's like, oh, let's be disruptive. Let's add something to the defense. So that gives me a lot of confidence in this defense going forward.
Absolutely. Our guy, probably at least my favorite player on the defense, Jermaine Matthews, spoke to the media yesterday and discussed his standard. And I asked him, what's your standard? And he said, playing elite. I'm like, that sounds like someone that watches our show. Because when people ask us, what's the standard at Ohio State? I'm like, being better than everybody else. Like, that's the standard. Like, there's not much more to discuss. Being good at my job, not making the fans mad. Like, that's someone that gets it. He's like, what's your standard? Being elite. Simple. We don't need to make it fancy or dressed up at all. Be elite. And I love that. I love that bluntness from Jermaine Matthews. And he also talked about bringing the younger guys along to that standard. What are your thoughts there with Jermaine Matthews' statements on his standard?
I mean, hey, there's nothing much more to be said. No, I'm ready for a big season from Jermaine. I think he could be the next guy. And I have another trivia question for you that's not a trivia question. Jermaine Matthews, over under top 50 picks in the next year's NFL draft? It gives you most of the second round.
I'm gonna go, and that's if he enters the draft. If Jermaine, I'll put it to you like this.
I think he will.
If Jermaine Matthews enters the draft, he will only enter the draft under the assumption that he is being picked in the first 2 rounds. If he does not have a projection of round 1 or 2, I would imagine we could see Jermaine Matthews return to Ohio State. So a little bit of a cop-out answer, but if he does enter the draft, I do believe that he would be a top 50 pick. If he is not a top 50 pick, I don't think he'll enter the draft at all.
Fair point. Give yourself an out. Well, yeah, honestly, I think Jermaine has all the tools. I think he would light up the combine with his athleticism. And again, if he is able to cover like he did the last couple of years, I don't see why he wouldn't be.
Absolutely. He talked about a word that he used about 100 times, about as many times as I say the word like in this show. He said the word consistency about 100 times during his interview, and it seems like that has been the consistent message to Jermaine Matthews this offseason is, hey, we've watched you do it. Now do it every day that you come in here. And I feel like Ryan Day has talked about that in his press conferences about the difference between being a player and being a pro. And a player is a guy that can do it sometimes and shows you the flashes. A pro is a guy that shows you it every time he steps on the field. And I feel like they're waiting for Jermaine Matthews to take that step to pro. And I think we're going to see it this year.
Yeah, I mean, same here. I feel like Ryan Day had a lot of investment in Jermaine Matthews' offseason. It feels like a little extra. I don't hear Ryan Day usually talk about a lot of corners like this, so maybe Jermaine might just be his guy, man. And I mean, that's credit to him. He's definitely impressing the coach. And yeah, again, I think Jermaine Matthews, he wasn't on the preseason All-American list. I'm looking forward to somewhere on that postseason All-American list if Jermaine can do that. We need an All-American corner, man. It's been too long. I'm used to talking about Thorpe guys being Caleb Down walks in, but he's at safety. I need the return of the All-American corner back at Ohio State.
Hopefully we will get that with Jermaine Matthews this year. Something else that I hope we get is 50 likes on this video. So smash that like button. We appreciate everybody tuning in. Q, we got some national news.
That we do.
We talked about it. Go ahead. No,
you
and your boy Robbie must have been talking about this one. You just jumped right in on this topic. So the floor is yours.
She got to call Robbie. I got to see how
Should I call you Rudy or Smash That Like? I don't know. You keep changing your name around here.
I mean, you just throw Rudy in between one of those 3 words and it'll work.
Smash Rudy that like. Smash that like Rudy.
There you go. There's probably Rudy out there watching.
Put it on a shirt.
Yeah, we talked about it a couple days ago. So obviously it was CJ Carr who apparently threw 6 interceptions in an hour, and we had Kenny McNee, and it was a close battle. But CJ Carr has now won out. So is this, Ron, I want to ask you this. Is this risk reward here? Is this Marcus Freeman saying, yeah, you're a bit of a gunslinger, but I have the rushing attack and the defense to hold it down, so I would go with the talent and play the risk game? Which one do you think it is?
Q, I'm going to break a rule that we have on this channel and show. We don't talk politics around here, but man, Q, this is politics, man. You got a famous kid in CJ Carr. Everything and every report that you've heard all off season is that Kenny Minchey is out playing CJ Carr. He fits what the offensive coordinator wants to do, but out of nowhere, we get CJ Carr as the starter after every report indicated that Kenny Minchey was ahead. And man, smells fishy around here, Q. And it seems, and if I had to bet my money, I would put it on the fact that the famous family involved had something to do with this decision.
If you want to play the conspiracy theory, I mean, I could see that. I mean, it's a little behind the shadows, politics going on. You know, it's Notre Dame. Nothing goes on with the Catholic Church. So
they've never hidden anything from the public.
No, it's all out in the bright lights. Man, I think you have a chance here, and if they believe CJ Carr is way more talented, and he's just a guy who hasn't got his consistency. He hasn't got his consistency yet. He hasn't quite toned it down yet. I think they feel like we can make some mistakes if he can go out and give us a few big plays, a few touchdowns. I feel like our defense can hold strong. So I see Marcus Freeman. I'm like, okay, you're going a little risky here, but you got one of the best running backs in college football. You got a really good defense coming back, and you're talking about maybe this is one of those by the end of the season, CJ Carr will be the guy that we need him to be versus early in the season, he can make some risks and make some mistakes because we'll be able to hold it down and win games.
I see. It always concerns me if you have, even in the back of your mind, that you may make the quarterback change. Wouldn't you want to go older to young when you make that change? If CJ Carr goes out there and struggles, aren't you more hesitant to pull the young guy and go to the older, more experienced guy? Because we talk about succession plan around quarterback and having a plan for what your quarterback room is going to be. If you let Kenny Minchie go out there and he struggles against Miami, you have all season to get CJ Carr prepared and on the field before the end of the season if you think that's the guy. If CJ Carr goes out there, your quarterback of the future, and stinks it up, and you have to go back to the guy that you just said lost to him, that just throws the quarterback room into complete chaos. Wow, does CJ Carr check out? Does he still want to be at Notre Dame if something like that happens? I feel like it's a big roll of the dice here, especially opening up against a team like, while a wholly unserious program, a very talented program in Miami, it's a lot of risk.
That made me laugh.
You like that one? Smash that like.
Yeah, wholly unserious program. Jesus. All right, Miami fans, don't dislike the video. So I would say because he's young, because he has time, I feel like if you put him out there, let's say he doesn't play well, let's say he just turns the ball over too much, you say, hey, like, we thought you were ready. You might just not be ready yet, but we still have the belief in you in the future. And Kenny McNeil ain't going to be there forever. You still have time to get better, and down the road, you're going to get another shot at it. So I feel like versus an older guy who, like, once you get replaced and the younger guy holds it down, it's like, well, he's going to be here longer than me, so I got to get out of here. As a younger guy, you're like, okay, like, you want to see the car, redshirt freshman? He's got plenty of time. He's got another 3-4 years if he wants it. So I feel like you can double dip and do both.
For the past few years, we've compared Ryan Day's trajectory and time as a head coach at Ohio State to one Kirby Smart in a timeline that we compared every season of where Ryan Day tracks on the Kirby Smart timeline. In line for a repeat. But that's not why I brought that up. It feels like Marcus Freeman is in his Ryan Day, Kyle McCord, Devin Brown quarterback battle era of his tenure at Notre Dame. And I feel like he's trying to make the best of two options that he doesn't love, and he's rolling the dice with what he thinks is going to be best for the future of the program. And I think that's quite the risk, and it's going to be interesting to see, does Marcus Freeman really get paid? Interesting to see why Marcus Freeman gets paid the big bucks and to see how this decision pays off.
Yeah, and I think he's doing the right thing. I think if they're both very close, one guy's just a little risky, but he has a little higher potential, and CJ Carr, again, could be there for another 4 years. You go with that, especially with a solid defense to back him, a solid rushing attack. You don't got to put everything on the shoulders. I mean, we talked about it with Julian saying, like, you have all the tools around to have a quarterback who you might need to reel in a little bit. So it's there, and you're like, okay, this guy's balling out later than it really paid off. It's not. This is college football. You can go out and get a new quarterback next year if CJ Carr sucks. Like, Notre Dame will write a check for a quarterback. If we know anything, we know that one. So
I mean, they were just in the national championship with a 1-year transfer in Riley Leonard.
Yeah, and we played their other 1-year transfer. So I don't think it's a big deal for them. So I like what Marcus Freeman is doing here. He's putting his nuts on the table and saying, hey, if we are going to get over the hump this season, we need the best version of CJ Carr that he can be. And if we don't get that, then we'll just go get another quarterback. But hopefully that's when he comes.
It's just every time we get to the end of the episode, Q, you just lose it. You start putting your nuts on you just start putting your nuts on the table and talk about humping things, Q. It's too late in the show for this. Let the people, they're watching this in the morning, and then you subject them to your potty mouth Every show, Q, can you lock in and be a professional?
Always professional, man. Look, it's hard to hold your excitement.
Oh my God.
Coming
Smash
up.
that like. Let them know where they can find you.
Oh, man. Greatly appreciate y'all. Make sure you smash that like button so I get my name back. Do that. But, hey, man, the comments have been rolling in. We love the comments in the morning, so make sure you do that. Tell a friend, man. There's some guys who are rolling with us and some ladies that have like, where did BDM go? Well, guess what? We're Dead Air Sports now. Let them know we're over here. We're doing our shows Monday through Friday. Hit that like button, share the video, like, retweet on Twitter, City Boy Quittin on Twitter, Flying the Johnson on Instagram, and here with my guy Ron Monday through Friday on Dead Air Sports. Ron, let us know where they can find you at.
You make a great point, Q. People tell us all the time in the comments they love our show. We need to be bigger. Well, tell a friend. Make sure you smash that like button. Tell a friend. Send it to someone. There's a share button. You can DM it to people. You can tweet it out on your Twitter. If you want more people to watch our show and think more people should watch it, tell a friend. That would help us. If you want to find me, you can find me right here on Dead Air Sports with my guy Smash That Like every morning here on the Buckeye Roast at 8 a.m. Monday through Friday here on Dead Air Sports. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. It helps us a ton. If you want to find me, you can also find me on Twitter at 2Ts. That's 2_TES. I appreciate everybody tuning in. You know how this thing ends. Smash that like. It's always go Bucks. And of course,
IO.
Example, when things get hard in life, you just keep swinging as hard as you can to fight. That's our culture.
I promised you we had a plan. Remember that we talked about plan? The plan was infallible. Part of that infallible plan is getting a team prepared, ready to go, so we start practice. Our coaches know what we got. And there's not one person in America I trusted more than Coach Mick and that staff. Think about this. 130 teams either today, they report, or they've already reported. 130. 16 weeks from now, there's going to be one champion. One champion in our conference, one champion on the side of our conference. And in the country, one team's going to do this. Not 36, not 48, not 44, one. That tells you how hard it is to be a champion. To do right all the time. To know your assignments. To have 11 guys play hard on every snap. That's hard. That's why there's one. I want a hungry team. I want a hungry team. I want a team that can't wait to get out there. Where there's a bunch of players that maybe, whenever you have a new coaching staff, you haven't played much, maybe you're trying to make a name for yourself, you're a hungry football player. I want a hungry team. And last one, most importantly, I've got to coach a few of them. I want an angry team. I want a pissed off football team. I want a team that has a little chip on their shoulder. Maybe something's been taken from you. Maybe something hasn't. Maybe something's been taken from you. Are you a team that's going to go get it?